Rohan, you want her to read your introduction?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Rohan works as a mechanical engineer for an Israeli-based company, Elbit's, did I pronounce that right?
Elbit.
Systems, designing electronic products for companies such as Boeing, Lockheed, Bell, Helicopters, and others. He enjoys running, cycling, and traveling. Please welcome Rohan, Toastmaster. He said, she said. He said, she said, Rohan.
Thank you, Blessing. Let's start off this talk with a brief vote. The question is, who are generally better communicators, men or women? So if you vote for men, raise your hand. If you vote for women, raise your hand. You got 2 votes right here.
She's from Chicago.
That explains a lot.
Well, that was actually a trick question because the answer really depends on the situation. Men's speak patterns are necessary in some situations, and women's speak patterns are just as important in others. We can all be more effective speakers if we employ both of these styles. So what are these styles? Research by linguist Robin Lakoff, considered the founder in the field of gender and language studies, identified a number of key areas. In the interest of time, we'll deal with only 3 of these areas. Verbosity, how much we speak; topic, what we talk about; and nonverbal gestures. Time for another quiz. Oops.
Just leave it.
Who talks more, men or women? Quick show of hands for men. Okay. Quick show of hands for women. Okay. Actually, studies do suggest that women converse more often than men. But researchers note that the social context is a key to the true answer of who talks more. Men actually talk more often than women do in the public arena. Men dominate the talk time in committee meetings, staff meetings, seminars, and decision-making groups. Men, however, are much more silent at home, especially when they're watching their favorite team on television. So how does this apply to you? When a person speaks up in a venue typically dominated by the opposite sex, their action will be unusual, and they will most often gain the attention of the audience. So that's a key thing that you can do to really be heard in a group that is not of the same gender as you. Next item I want to talk about is topic, the things that we tend to talk about. Women tend to share more information about themselves than men do, especially when it comes to sharing their problems, weaknesses, or family issues. Speakers who can allow themselves to be more vulnerable in front of others gain an interesting kind of power. The power to make people feel empathy and a personal connection to them. Speakers can take advantage of this surprise factor. Speakers who master the art of intimate conversation have an advantage when it comes to building closer family connections and interpersonal relationships. The next area I want to talk about is tone, the way that we speak. Males primarily use the left hemisphere of their brain when talking and listening. The brain of women show activity on both the left and the right side. So yes, we are wired differently. Women speak in a softer voice and use pitch and inflection to emphasize a point. Men, on the other hand, just get louder and they use volume to emphasize a point. So using both tone as well as volume is really good in varying the way that you're speaking. And last but not least, nonverbal gestures. Men's gestures tend to be bigger and more commanding compared to women. Well, they're most oftentimes larger, so they occupy a larger volume. Men also tend to stare more, hold their head straight and maintain a neutral expression, their poker face. Effective communicators can serve themselves well by using a range of physical gestures from small to large, from open to closed. In conclusion, we talked about the 3 areas that we can focus on to change the way that we're speaking to gain a acceptance from the audience. We talked about verbosity, topic, and nonverbal gestures. The ability to adapt our communication style to our message and our audience gives us a tremendous flexibility and effectiveness, whether we are speaking at the lectern, in the office, or at home. Madam Toastmaster.